Hi everyone, this is Laura and I'm going to talk about what is more important in Pakistan, religion, country, or tribe. So just to kind of break it down to some of the obvious things, with religion, there's one major religion, that being the Muslim religion. 97% of Pakistanis are Muslim. 3% are Christian, Hindu, and other religions. There's obviously only one country to Pakistan, and within that one country we have one president, one prime minister, one governor per province. And then within the tribes, we have several major tribes. The biggest one being the Punjabi tribe, which makes up 44% or almost 45% of the population, and the Pashtun tribe, which makes up 15% of the population. So then just to dive into tribes a little bit, all the tribes are located within provinces of Pakistan, and within the province there is typically a different language or dialect that each tribe speaks. And each tribe is different and unique in their culture and their dress and even in the way that they worship Islam. So tribe and family come first in Pakistan, and that loyalty comes before other relationships. And if you're thinking, oh, the family is just a little family, we learned in one of the other presentations that a family is quite a large thing in Pakistan, because it includes your nuclear family, your immediate relatives, your distant relatives, and that extends to your tribe members, because you are in a tribe because of the family that you're born into and the lineage of your family and the ties to the region and essentially the tribe and the province there. So again, your relationships, your tribal and family relationships come before any other social relationships, even in your business. So nepotism is viewed positively because in business it's more important to be able to employ someone you trust, and you'll most likely find that within your own family or your tribe. So with our country of Pakistan, we've got a president that is elected, and that president must be Muslim. And the prime minister is then appointed by the president, who is also Muslim. And then each province within the country has a mayor, and then each tribe within the province has their own leadership. And sometimes that leadership is organized and sometimes it's rogue. And then a majority of the Pakistani people don't feel that the leaders of the country truly represent them. They kind of feel like the political system is a carryover of the British way of doing things, and they don't really take into account the wants and the desires and the will of the people. And so there's a lot of conflict in that regard. And so in trying to figure out between between family, country, religion, all of these things, trying to figure out what's more important, I came across information about Asia Bibi, who was a Christian woman who spent 8 years on death row for blasphemy. She violated Pakistan's blasphemy laws. She was accused of defiling the Quran and using it to perform exorcisms. Well, obviously she says that she wasn't performing exorcisms, and that her Muslim neighbors launched a case against her following a petty fight between their children. And so she was convicted and then eventually lost an appeal before the Supreme Court finally dismissed the case. So all it took was an accusation of someone to say she blasphemed against the Quran, and therefore she was convicted, and she was actually sentenced to death, to die for something that she didn't do. Luckily in her case, the Supreme Court saw through it and dismissed it, but it's just kind of an example of how religion affects the laws and the judicial process. This one baseless accusation landed the woman in jail for 8 years, and from the outside it appears that the only reason she was set free is because of the international attention that the case attracted. And so in continuing this story, Salman Taseer was the Punjab governor at the time, and he spoke out against the blasphemy laws. And if you aren't aware of what the blasphemy laws, look them up, because it's really quite interesting. You can get in trouble for tearing out a page of the Quran. You can go to jail for it. So after her high-profile case, he tried to reform the laws, but he was unsuccessful and was killed by one of his security guards. So when this bodyguard appeared in court, hundreds of people showed up and they threw rose petals on him and considered him to be a hero because he upheld the blasphemy laws. He stood up for Islam. And so eventually he was executed in 2016, and approximately 30,000 people showed out to mourn his loss. And so this is just an example of how the Pakistani people definitely place religion over country or laws. And so then in trying to figure out, so we've definitely got religion over country here, and then trying to figure out what about tribe versus country. So we go to Malala for that, and she says, I thought of myself first as Swati and then Pashtun before Pakistani. So definitely there's tribe over country. So we have religion over religion over country and tribe over country, but what about religion over tribe? I really kind of went back and forth, but that it kind of boiled down to figuring out that religion is so heavily embedded in everything within the country. So it affects the political system, it affects like who can be president. We saw this during the partition of India, even with Jinnah being the head of the Muslim League, the Pakistani People's Party was formed, and we have the legal and judicial system. We have the Shariat, I'm not sure how to say that, the Sharat court, where they oversee the laws of the land, making sure that they are in line with Islam. Religion affects the culture. We have the holy day. We have holidays that are all around. Businesses are closed. Schools are closed on the holy days. It affects daily life with prayers, the worship of the Quran and the revere of the Quran. It affects your tribe, what sect of Islam you practice. It affects your family life, everything. And so for this purpose, I have come to the conclusion that religion is the most important thing in Pakistan. And then it just kind of comes down to the question of, at what cost is religion the most important thing? When you consider the birth of the nation and the decades of strife, there definitely might need to come a time when someone asks the tough questions to determine if that's really how it should be, or if the country should be allowed to progress naturally. So anyway, those are my thoughts.